Hello, welcome back, guys. Today we're gonna discuss about loops. Loops, as it mean by the term, we wanna do some actions over few iterations. Loops help us in that. So, let's say you wanna iterate over an array and wanna perform an action on every index or something, or maybe you have a list of items you wanna do some action. Their loops are very handy. Even in if you have a condition you want to do something until the condition is true, loops are very handy. Let me create a class and I'll explain you more. So new class, similar thing we've been doing. Loops are, today we'll do while and do while loops, and in next tutorial we'll cover the for loop. So just to make you guys understand with some real world example, let's say you guys have a bank account and you have $100 in it. You can only withdraw until your balance is greater than zero, right? So you can write a loop something like, okay, withdraw money from my account until it's greater than zero. If it's zero, you cannot really withdraw anything, right? That is a loop. So pretty much goes like that, and we want to do something until some condition is true. If that's false, then we would want to get out of that loop. So let's take an example. Let's say I declare a variable I with value 10 and I create a while loop. So very easy to understand. While my boolean condition is true, I'll execute this code block. This boolean condition is nothing. I haven't declared any variable, so it's given me an error. But until it's true, I'll execute some code. What is a boolean condition? We already discussed in if tutorial, the conditional statements tutorial. I can explain you guys again. So like boolean, so let's say condition is equals to 10 less than 20, which is always true. Let me comment this code for now, guys, and let me print CISO and my condition. So this is gonna print the condition. Since 10 is always less than 20, it's printing out true. Let's say if 10 is greater than 20 in the condition variable and I print out the condition variable, it should print out false. That's what it's been doing. So this is my boolean condition, right? I can use the similar thing in my while loops and until my condition is true. So what I'm doing in Mac is control command and forward slash to comment out and backward slash to uncomment the code block. This is a shortcut, very handy shortcut. So let's say I put a condition until my I is less than 20. It's 10 less than 20. I wanna print out the value of I. Alright, now guess guys what's gonna happen now. It's gonna fall into an infinite loop because 10 is always less than 20. It's gonna print out I endless number of times and the program is continuously running. So I have to terminate this program using this terminate button. What I need to do is to make this program a little more sense. If I do I plus plus, if you guys are wondering what this is, let me first explain you what it does. It is actually equal to I equals to I plus 1. What I'm doing is I'm adding 1 to I and again putting into the I variable. So it's incrementing I every time. Let me run this code right now. So it prints out from 10 to 19, not 20 because I is less than 20, not equal to 20. So let me show you the shortcut. So if I do I plus plus, it does the same thing, 10 to 19. This is a while loop. So while my I is less than 20, I want to perform this action. You can put any code block inside this according to the need of the program and the application. This is a simple while loop. There are a couple of handy, like very important things in loops. one thing is break and one thing is continue. Break we already discussed in switch statement tutorial, but I'll show you again that thing. So what break means is it's used to break out of something. So when I'm using break in the while loop, it's gonna kick the program out of that while loop as soon as it hits the break, and it's gonna again continue executing the program after that particular code block, so after that while loop. So let's say I am gonna print something here, out outside loop. See, right now this is perfectly working. 10 11 19, all right, sorry, 10 to 19 and outside loop. Let's say if I do uh, if the value, let's say if I is equals to 17, let's say I don't want to print I if it's 17, I just want to break out of the loop and do something else. And I say, okay, if I is equal to 17, then I want to break out of the loop. So what it does, it prints from 10 to 16. As soon as it encounters 17, it just breaks out of the loop and prints the actions after the while loop. So right here the while loop ends, so it just goes and execute any statement of code which is after the while loop. Break statements are sometimes very handy when we encounter something we don't want to execute anything further and get out of the program, get out of that at least while loop, not the complete program. While loop is very handy. Now what is the difference between break and continue? There is a continue keyword also. What continue causes is it causes the loop to immediately jump out of the loop but again go to the next iteration. So continue will not go to this line right away. It will stop that iteration, the iteration of I equals to 17, and will not perform any code after continue statement and will again jump to this statement while loop and will again start the loop, the code block inside the loop. So if I do continue, right now it's gonna fall into an infinite loop. I'll explain you guys. Let me show you. So when I'm doing this, it's actually you are not seeing it that infinite loop, but what's happening is it just printed out till 16, right? What happened when it's 17? It hit the continue. It didn't print this. It went there. Then what happened? Why it didn't print 18 and why? So you guys are not seeing, but the program is still running. See, this red button is still enabled and it says terminate. So it got stuck here because when I was 17, it hit the continue and we never incremented the I. So right away from this point, it went to the while statement, the first line here, and started executing. I is still 17. It's right away. It's just moving into these 3 lines of code. So we have to stop this. And what we need to do is we need to put these 2 lines of code ahead of I equals to 17 and then execute our program. Let's see what happens now. This time it prints out the value of I, increments I plus plus. It's equals to 17, no, then it just goes to the while loop. If it's 17, what happened this time is it printed out every single thing. So what is the use of this? Maybe let me show you this thing. Maybe print this again, value of I. So maybe I'm printing it twice just to show you guys that it's not gonna execute this statement at the step 17. So you guys must be seeing 10 value of I is 11 because it's incremented after that. So maybe I should do I minus 1 and save it. Alright, sorry, it's string at that point. So value of I is this. So now you guys must be seeing after after 16, so it didn't print the value of I as 17. See, it incremented here, right? It must be a little bit confusing for you guys. So see, it's showing 1 plus because 10, and it's showing value of I is 11 because it has incremented. So right now the value of I is 11. It's printing correct thing. Value of I is 11. That is true. So when it hit the 11, then it has printed out 12. So let me just let me comment this thing, so must be easy for you guys. So right now value of I is 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and it skipped the 17, right? So as soon as it encounters 17, it just continued the code block and again went to the first line and didn't print the 17. So this is the use of continue keyword, guys. Other than while, there is a similar loops thing, which is a do while. The only difference is in do while loops, it checks for the boolean expression after executing the first code. So in while loop, we are first checking the boolean expression. If it's true, we are getting inside the loop. What happens in do while is, maybe let me comment this code out and start with do while. What happens in do while is do, and I'm putting a while here with the boolean. If I is less than 20, I'm gonna put the similar line here. See, so I and increment I, so it goes to, and a semicolon here, and a semicolon here. So all this while code is commented right now. If you guys notice this, it started printing out from 10 to 19. I is 10, it printed out, it checks the value, okay, I is 20. When until I is less than 20, it printed out everything. The only difference is, let's say I is, the condition I gave is I is less than 10. And okay, let me first run it, guys. I'll show you what happens. So if I do this condition in the while loop, if I is less than 10, this will never execute the code because I is equals to 10 and it's not less than 10. What happens in do while loop is the first iteration is always done. It's gonna do this and then check for while. If this condition is met, then it's gonna go to the do block again. So even at the first step, this condition was not true, it did execute these lines. So let me show you an exact thing here. So if this is the case and I give the value here as 10, it didn't execute this thing, right? It didn't print out anything. It just right away printed out this thing and printed out this thing. So let me print this to make it easy for you guys. So this is do while loop. So you guys know what, if 10 is printed inside the do while loop. So from the while loop, nothing is printed. If it's less than 11, then it printed out the value. The value is 11, and outside loop it came and then went into do while loop. So the only difference is in do while loop, the step is always executed and then the condition is checked. So I think this is lot more material to absorb today. Guys, just write the code yourself, try and practice more, and you should be comfortable in this. It's not really tough. In next class, we'll discuss about for loops, which are a little bit more with more options to tackle and more things we can perform in the for loops. So see you next time, guys. Thanks.